and welcome to Business Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and with me my colleague Krishna Gopalan, and with us today the man of the moment, Mr. Uday Shankar, the Vice Chairperson of the Reliance-Disney Media joint venture, also the co-founder of Bodhi Tree Systems, that new big media behemoth that has been born. Mr. Shankar, welcome to Business Today. Thank you very much on behalf of the entire India Today group for taking out time, literally hours after the announcement of the completion of this mega behemoth. Before we get into specifics, what's the big picture that is likely to emerge out of this joint venture? The statement makes several key points, but how would you start off by telling our viewers about what this joint venture ultimately hopes to achieve?
I think mergers and combinations do not change viewers' lives. What the outcome of those mergers and combinations is what changes lives, and we are very determined to use this merger as an opportunity to completely reinvent the entire content and content experience ecosystem in the country. You know, India has been a great content market. You know, the history of television in this country, or video in this country, is not that old. You know, it's less than 30 years old when full serious mature video work started and people started experiencing. But it's emerged as one of the most exciting video markets on linear television, on the internet, everywhere else. I think time is ripe to enhance that experience and take it to the next level, both on the linear television side and on the streaming side. And I think that's what we intend to do. And we are ideally positioned to do that, Siddharth, because we have a sizable volume of sports that people like. We are between brand colors and brand star. We have more capabilities and pedigree in drama of different kinds and reality than any other media company in this country for sure, and very few in the world. And we, on the internet and streaming side, between Hotstar and JioCinema, we have literally, Hotstar created streaming space in India, and JioCinema was the only other one that made a significant intervention in that space. So we are set for that, and I think this is a great opportunity to completely change the entire viewing ecosystem in this country.
I have just one quick follow-up before Krishna jumps in. Since you spoke about the two streaming platforms, will they continue to be nurtured independently for long, or you know, because nowhere in the world do we have one media house having multiple apps really of this kind? The positioning has been different, but what's the thought process? Will it kind of become one ultimately as a combined entity?
So we are exploring the options. Both the options are on the table, to be honest. There is a case for bringing the two together, and there is a case for keeping the two separate. Hotstar has emerged as a very well-rounded entertainment destination for Hollywood entertainment and Indian entertainment. Between content from Star, it's made for Hotstar specials, and the stuff that comes from you know, Disney and everything else. JioCinema has had a much shorter lifespan, and JioCinema started in a serious way, started with live sports and, you know, cricket. So both of them have their core identities. We are right now examining whether the two can, you know, whether it makes more sense from both from a viewer's point of view and from a business point of view, to bring the two together or keep them separate.
Mr. Shankar, obviously when you have a behemoth of this nature, the ability to command a price in the market from advertisers, if I may say so, increases quite substantially. After all, you're speaking of over 2/5 of, in terms of market share, in terms of viewership or revenue. How do you view that? Because end of the day, you have linear, you have digital, the ability to play around with several platforms exists.
Krishna, I wish it was as simple as you making it out to be. We do have scale and reach. 750 million viewers come to, you know, these platforms collectively every week. So there is no question that we have reach and we have scale. We have great brand affinity, you know, between Star brand, Colors, JioCinema, Hotstar, all of these. We have great content from every part of the country and the rest of the world with great content. But monetization also depends on the capacity of the market. You've seen that, you know, there is the video advertising space is limited, and that is one of the biggest challenges for us. While the cost that we have, while the content that we are committed to deliver is all in our control, but getting money for all of that is not in our control, and it's complex. The advertising space on television, everybody knows that television advertising has been under pressure. The streaming, on the streaming side, the advertising has been growing very healthily, but the size of the market itself is not expanding as much. So it's a complex situation. I think in the macro, if you look at the macros, it's a very good time to be in the space because the Indian economy is growing at a very healthy clip. Consumption is set to grow, and the India story keeps getting better and better, and we believe in that very heavily in this group. And but it requires a lot of innovation. It's not a ready to harvest commercial or advertising market. You have to go and shape and create the market. You need to expand the pool of advertisers. You need to, you know, innovate and disrupt the formats of advertising. Until we are able to do that, I think you know, the value for the audiences that we deliver is not readily available.
Even the most dedicated TV viewer would not remember all the channels that this combined entity has. But that size and scale has also meant that at the Competition Commission of India, where you won approval, not just in India, you've also got competition approval from 5 other places, including the EU.
Every market in the world.
Every market in the world. The question that a lot of analysts have been asking is, what concessions has this merged entity offered in order to get those approvals? And if I can also add, which are the TV channels that are likely to be phased out? Because between Colors and Star Plus, as a viewer, I would have a very, very tough choice to make. So what tough choices have you made?
And mercifully, the regulator hasn't asked us to shut down, you know, any of the 2 Hindi channels that you talked about. But we can share the specific details. 5 channels have to go out, and because the regulator felt that the combined concentration in select markets was crossing a safe threshold. And then there are, on top of that, there are some behavioral restrictions in terms of how we will offer key cricket tournaments, etc., across TV and digital to advertisers. All of those details are in the public domain. You can check, we can give you the information. We are duty bound to comply with all of that. But as I have always told my teams, that these restrictions, while they pinch you in the beginning, they're a little onerous. However, they also force you to innovate far more aggressively. So they put us on our toes. And now, because there are limitations on us that have been put by an authority, our teams and I, we are all working overtime to figure out how best to recreate the magic that we always had.
One of the things in the press statement that stands out is this term of digital first. And you spoke about the digital part of it. I have a couple of questions in that regard. One with regard to digital advertising. There's a winner takes it all effect that we have seen play out in the digital advertising world. Your combined size in the digital space is massive. Your combined size in the linear TV space is also very massive. Is there a playoff between linear television and digital when it comes to advertising? What would you say to those who would say that, Mr. Shankar, please explain what does digitally first mean? Will you de-emphasize linear TV in the long run?
So, if we didn't have one or the other, if we did not have linear TV or if we did not have digital, then it would be a very different strategy. But now that we have great scale and reach in both segments, why would we de-emphasize one or the other? The way we see this is a complementary service. You know, the viewers do not make that kind of distinction in their own minds. If there is a big cricket match that's happening, an IPL game, when people want to watch the IPL, they watch it on the best available screen that is with them at that time. So if you're sitting at home, you're relaxed, then you might want to watch it on linear TV or CTV, connected TV, as the case may be in your house. When you are out, you might want to watch it on your mobile device, and that is a huge opportunity that we see. That the whole system hasn't been treated holistically, not for the viewers and not for the advertisers. And I think there is an opportunity to offer solutions that are integrated and tailored, not just take the same content and put it differently. Just to give you an example, in the very first year that we got the IPL rights for JioCinema, we did some serious innovation. We introduced multi-camera.
Yes.
We introduced all other technical, many other technical innovations, for which TV is not the best destination. But for TV, for sit down, big screen, relaxed experience, that's very good. And that was 1 year while IPL TV rights were with Star, digital rights were with JioCinema, but the consumption on both grew very significantly. So I'm a big believer that if you use these two media, if you use to create tension between themselves, you are in a position to offer a better product to the viewers, and that always helps.
Mr. Shankar, also the fact is, the expectation is that at some point the whole revenue composition between subscription and advertising, now given your own scale and might, how will that change? Are we likely to see, for example, the whole thing of JioCinema going pay at some point in time? So that's just one part of it, but eventually the whole game plan.
Look, JioCinema, we started JioCinema when everything was free.
That's right.
And then we got some content, premium Hollywood content, HBO, etc. And then we also got some of our own made for JioCinema Indian language content, and we created a pay tier. Now JioCinema has 18-19 million of paying subscribers in a very short time. We launched that service towards the end of April or early May. So in barely 5-6 months we have this number. So Hotstar has always been there. So both these services have had a AVOD service and a streaming service and a SVOD service. I think that combination will continue to be there, because on TV in this country people don't realize it. It's very affordable, so it feels like you don't pay anything. But there is no TV in this country that is for free, except when you go to free dish. Everything else is pay TV. So consumers are very comfortable with paying. What they want is value for the money that is being asked for them. So we believe that we will do this both. Advertising makes it easier on the wallet of the consumers, because you're able to subsidize the consumer price. So we will have advertising, of course, by and large across the platform. We will continue to have subscription, and we will push subscription, but we will not push one size fit all solutions as the market is seeing. I've always believed that media companies have innovated very well on content. The new age media companies have innovated very well also on things like distribution, consumer experience, but they haven't innovated as well on the monetization models. And I think time for innovating and disrupting the monetization models has come. So you will see, and it's not a fixed position. We will keep playing, we will keep iterating, and we'll see what's the optimum mix.